Have you ever felt that uncomfortable tension inside, a kind of mental tug-of-war? That feeling might be cognitive dissonance. It's that unsettling feeling we get when our actions don't match up with what we believe. Think about it. We all have our own sets of values and beliefs, things we hold to be true. But sometimes, we find ourselves doing things that contradict those beliefs. That's where the dissonance kicks in. Imagine you believe strongly in protecting the environment. You think recycling is crucial, and you try to minimize your carbon footprint. But then, you find yourself regularly buying products with excessive packaging, things you could easily avoid. That conflict between your eco-conscious belief and your convenient actions creates a dissonance. It's that mental discomfort that tells you something isn't right. This isn't just about big, life-altering decisions. Cognitive dissonance can pop up in smaller, everyday situations too. Maybe you believe that honesty is the best policy, but you find yourself telling a little white lie to avoid a confrontation. Or perhaps you value healthy eating, but you end up grabbing fast food for convenience. Even small inconsistencies between our actions and beliefs can trigger that uneasy feeling. So, what happens when this dissonance arises? Our brains aren't fond of this discomfort. We're wired to seek consistency, to have our beliefs and actions align. So, we actively try to reduce that unpleasant feeling. We might try to justify our actions, finding ways to make them seem less contradictory to our beliefs. Maybe you tell yourself that the fast food was a one-time thing, or that the excessive packaging was unavoidable. We find ways to rationalize, to minimize the conflict in our minds. Sometimes, we might even change our beliefs to match our actions. This can be a more subtle shift. If you keep buying those products with excessive packaging, despite your belief in environmental protection, you might start to downplay the importance of minimal packaging or convince yourself that recycling is enough to offset your actions. It's a way of reducing that mental tension, even if it means compromising our values. Alternatively, we might change our behavior to align with our beliefs. This is the healthier route. Realizing the conflict between your belief in environmental protection and your purchasing habits, you might actively start looking for products with less packaging, choosing to buy from companies that prioritize sustainability. This reduces the dissonance by bringing your actions in line with your values. But it's not always a simple process. The strength of our beliefs, the importance we attach to them, and the significance of the conflicting action all play a role in how we handle the dissonance. A small inconsistency with a weakly held belief might be easily dismissed, while a significant clash with a deeply held value might require a more substantial shift in either our actions or beliefs. Understanding cognitive dissonance can be incredibly helpful in self-reflection. It allows us to identify inconsistencies between our values and our behavior. This awareness can be a powerful tool for personal growth. By recognizing those discrepancies, we can make conscious choices to align our actions with our beliefs, leading to a more harmonious and authentic self. It's about being aware of the internal conflict and choosing a path that reflects who we truly want to be. Think about the things you value most: honesty, kindness, fairness, perseverance. Then, examine your daily actions. Are there any conflicts? If you identify some dissonance, don't be discouraged. This isn't about being perfect, it's about self-awareness. By acknowledging these inconsistencies and making conscious efforts to bridge the gap, we can live more authentically and reduce that nagging feeling of internal conflict. Consider your work life. Perhaps you believe in teamwork and collaboration, but you find yourself working individually to get ahead, neglecting team efforts. Or maybe you value creativity and innovation but adhere strictly to the rules, hindering imaginative solutions. Recognizing this conflict, the dissonance between your professed values and your actions, provides an opportunity to adjust your behavior. Perhaps you can make more of an effort to involve colleagues, sharing ideas and collaborating on projects. Or, if the job doesn't allow for creativity, it might be time to seek new employment. The same applies to personal relationships. If you believe in open and honest communication, but find yourself avoiding difficult conversations to avoid conflict, you're experiencing dissonance. Addressing this might involve actively seeking better communication strategies or finding ways to express your feelings without fear of confrontation. The key is self-awareness and a willingness to make changes that bring alignment between what you believe and how you behave. Cognitive dissonance isn't inherently negative. It's a natural human experience, a signal that something isn't quite right. The important thing is to recognize it, understand it, and use that understanding to guide our choices, helping us to live in a way that is true to our values and beliefs. This journey of self-awareness and alignment can lead to a greater sense of peace, integrity, and overall well-being. Ultimately, managing cognitive dissonance is about striving for internal consistency, bridging the gap between our ideals and our reality. It's about living authentically, and in doing so, fostering a stronger sense of self and purpose. It's an ongoing process, one of continuous self-reflection and adjustment, a journey of aligning our actions with our deepest values, creating a life lived with more integrity and less internal conflict.